What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Rudy Elizabeth. I post cool videos about being in grad school, blah 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 blah, and this is another one of my digital note taking slash like how I make my study guides videos, so stay tuned. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I love you already. If you would, just like, subscribe below, and stay tuned for all my videos about being in grad school. You know, a week in my life working, a week in my life during school, obviously during Corona, rotations, etc. And then random stuff such as like my natural hair and creating study guides. Either way, I love you and welcome. So a few weeks ago, I posted this story. Okay, so to answer a few questions, yes, I am making a chart over the summer because we were given kind of like a pre-work kind of thing to do before the upcoming semester for CNS, and it's 12 pages of drugs. And so what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and making a chart. I'm only doing one page each sitting that I actually do this. So today was the first day, so I only did one page, which was about 2 indications. Okay, 3 indications. I think there's a total of like maybe 36 drugs. And so, hold on, let me flip the camera around. So basically what I'm doing is going from this list to this chart. So as I mentioned, I only did page 1 today. So this is all of page 1, and I just turned it into this. So let me make it bigger for you guys. So I separate it by indication and then like classification, stuff like that. So the things that are left blank are basically room for me to add more notes, either like over the summer as we, like if they're on our pre-work assignments and stuff like that, or just during class. I can print this out for class in the fall, or I can just keep adding on to it. So this is just page 1. So after that story, I got a lot of questions and things about like how I create said study guides or charts like that, why I create them, how I go about doing so, how do I know that I want a chart or a note section in them, etc. So I created a quick tutorial about how I went about creating this chart for my CNS drugs for the next semester, and essentially just like talked about doing it, how I decide to add sections and etc. So let's get to it. So first things first is of course setting up the chart. So preferably on Google Docs, I prefer to have my margins very small. So I typically do like a 0.2, 0.2 on top and bottom, and then 0.5 on the left and right. Then I go into actually creating like the header and making sections. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the entire top row and I'm merging those cells, and this serves as basically the indication section. So specifically this is going to be hypotension. So next up, I go ahead and format my text how I want it to look, and then I proceed to actually copy and paste my information into my columns. So I have a total of 5 columns initially because I wasn't sure exactly what all I was going to add in here, but as I started adding things, I noticed I really only needed 3 columns. So what I did is I did class, and then drug name, brand, and trade, and then I just proceeded from there to format in section to my liking. So you will see here that as I start a new indication, I go ahead and merge that entire row and I format that text again. So we've gone from hypotension to hypertension. So this is actually a perfect example of how I essentially do multiple drugs under one class. So we have the class of the adrenergic alpha-1 antagonists, and in there we have prazosin, terazosin, doxazosin, and 2 others. So essentially what I do is I go ahead and I merge the cells for the drug class, and then I just keep separate lines for those drugs so that they each can have their own note section and etc. speaking of notes, that is what the last column of this chart is for. So on my draft list, my professor left notes such as it also blocks alpha-2 and the side effect is tachycardia. So I wanted to keep a separate section for those notes because I would like to use this chart throughout the semester or during my studying to add more notes and just have them all in one collected place so that I can search for them. I will most likely probably color code them, etc. In the future too. So now we're under the dilemma where we have two different classes under one indication. So in terms of for my study habits, I really like to color code things when I go through and with my paper study guide. So with my Google Doc, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the sizing of the lines that separate each class. That way, when it comes down to me adding annotations and stuff, I already know that they're in a different class, and therefore I can use like a different highlighter or a different color pen, etc. So essentially just increasing the lines all to 6-point font to show that there's a separation between the two classes. And now you have basically the outline of your chart, and you just keep doing the same thing until you finish all of your drugs and your classes. So here is my complete 34-page chart.
Ryan Little.
When you're creating your own charts or creating your own study guides. Obviously, this method can be used when creating any type of chart. It doesn't have to be a drug chart. It can be anything that you need while studying. So other than that, I really appreciate you guys watching this. Obviously, down below, you can find the link to my website, or you can get a free blank PDF of my chart that I created right here. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. Stay safe.